at the top of the show? He came here to mess with me this early?
You know it, Stephen A. You know it. That's right. That's right.
And by the way,
get ready, baby. You just took a little shot.
I'm always ready. I'm always ready. And by the way, Max and Molly, especially you, Molly, I got a text this morning. Now, I lost a bet 2 years ago. And Mr. Rose, as in Jalen Rose, texts me to remind him that I owe him a pair of sneakers, which he is right about. That's how my morning started. I had to hear Max's voice first. Then I had to hear Jalen Rose reminding me of a bet that I lost. And now I got Jeff Saturday. And damn it, it ain't even 10:02. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Listen,
everyone feels very
it,
sorry for you, Stephen A. You have a very tough life.
Yeah. Stephen A., why don't you pick up some his and hers? I'm a size 8.5. I won't be mad at you. Christmas is right around the corner.
I got you. I got you, Molly. For you, I will do that.
I believe you.
I will do that.
I believe you. I do. All right, fellas. Max, I know you were watching, as Stephen A. would say, with your Beetlejuice eyes, because Tom Brady did not look like himself. The Rams get the win. Tom, talk to us. All right, Stephen A., tell me this. After last night, do you still trust Tom Brady?
I do. I don't like what I saw last night. I'll be the first to admit that. But when we talk about whether I trust him or not, I'm going to go to somebody's body of work as opposed to, what they've done in the immediate moment. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment when it comes to Tom Brady. Certainly, he was overthrowing receivers. Certainly, that he's leading the league in incompletions with 20-plus yards. I think he's got about 33 incompletions on the year. We know that's not impressive. He's completing about 25% of his passes for 15 or 20 yards plus. So we get all of that, and we understand it. And when you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronkowski, and of course Brady, and of course Antonio Brown, there is simply no excuse for it. Tom Brady's got to get his act together because the losses that he has incurred this season has been against top quality teams. But what I would remind everybody is that he's supposed to have a veteran coach in Bruce Arians that would ask him to stop throwing those damn things. Why don't you throw some intermediate passes? Why don't you run the damn football? You've got Ronald Jones. You've got Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette is no slouch. You got him there for a reason. Engage in some ball control. Move the chains. Run the damn football, for crying out loud. It's not just the receivers that are out there with your 43-year-old quarterback. It's those running backs as well. Take some of that pressure off of Tom Brady. And, oh, by the way, I'm not going to let the defense off the hook. I know numbers-wise, they're one of the top defenses in the league, led by Todd Bowles, who obviously is a stout defensive coordinator. But two of the days where they really, really wet the bed was when they got blown out by New Orleans. And then last night again, no pressure on Jared Goff whatsoever. He sat back, took pictures, called this lady, said, I'm coming. What time you want dinner tonight? Let's hang out afterwards, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there was just no pressure whatsoever. I mean, he was standing back there taking pictures, for crying out loud. So I look at all of those things and I'm saying this is the ultimate team sport, is it not? It's football. It's not just one side of the ball. It's three sides of the ball. It's special teams. It's defense. It's offense. It's also not just a quarterback. It's your head coach. It's your offensive coordinator. This is about the third time this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff Saturday. This is about the third time this year at least that we have looked at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and said schematically, we are not impressed with the game that's been called by Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich. We're not impressed. And so somehow, some way, they've got to get it together. The question is, do you trust that Tom Brady will? And I'm saying, even at 43, with these multitude of weapons, with what I've seen him do in good moments this year, I believe that when it's time, he will show up. You're going to have to show me differently. Until I see it, I'm not going to believe otherwise.
I think that they both are going to have great careers in the National Football League. But I don't think the Dolphins are regretting getting the person that they wanted the entire time. At least that's what they say, right? I mean, they say we wanted Tua this entire time. Now, look, he goes up against the Denver Broncos, and he goes up against Vic Fangio, who's a decent schemer in terms of defensive game plans. He's one of the old heads in the National Football League on the defensive side of the ball. He gives him a little bit of a problem. And late in the game, they made a decision that Ryan Fitzpatrick was probably best suited to engineer a 2-minute drive late in the game rather than Tua.
He almost did it.
And he almost did it. So the coach was putting them in a situation to win with 2 minutes to go in a game or less than 2 minutes to go in a game on a 2-minute situation. I don't have a problem with that. Doesn't mean that he's benching him and he doesn't like him anymore. I don't want to even start that narrative.
Indeed, Jay, he's going to start against the Jets on Sunday. What do you think?
Well, I can start against the Jets. Sorry.
Well, actually, Key, I disagree. I disagree with you, man. I actually do have a problem with it. I know that you said that, hey, Brian Flores is putting his team in the best position to win the game by putting Fitzpatrick on the field. But what does that do to your rookie quarterback? How do you allow him to continue to grow if you don't allow him to battle through difficult times, right?
But Jay, that the coaches know, Jay, the pulse of their team and their quarterback that they've been in the room with far greater than we do. And for whatever reason that he went to Fitzy.
We know that the coaches know the pulse of the team better, but I mean, we still have disagree with what those coaches have decided to do in those spur of the moments. I mean, we've talked about this multiple times. I mean, I'm not comparing them, okay, because Bill O'Brien is way different than Brian Flores, I would say. It's like, well, Bill O'Brien, he knows his team better than anybody else. It doesn't mean that we agree with every decision that Bill O'Brien or Brian Flores makes. I'm just giving the argument that when you take your rookie quarterback, after you've handed him the reins, you said, Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay, you are not here anymore. You're still here as a backup in case something happens to Tua. But by inserting him in the game at that juncture and now allowing Tua, a guy that you're saying we're handing you the keys to the franchise to work through that moment, that allows opportunities for guys like Greeny and the media to start digging deeper and have these type of conversations about, well, now we wonder if Tua is actually the answer to this team long term. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but of course he's the answer to him. He was just the 5th pick. They just gave him, again, follow the breadcrumbs. They just gave him a boatload of money as a 5th pick in the draft. They inserted him into the lineup when they went 3-3. He went 3-1 as a starter. What's the problem? They're right in the hunt to win the division or make a wild card playoff spot. So I don't see what the problem is. Taking and putting a veteran quarterback in that can engineer a 2-minute drive, which, by the way, he damn near did. That is a coaching decision opposed to putting a kid out there that was struggling at the time. This is his first opportunity to engineer a 2-minute drive. You might as well let the veteran dude do it so we can stay within contention.
Key, what if he did do it? What if Ryan Fitzpatrick won that game? Do you not think the conversation then spirals? I've also been on this show with you when we've talked about Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. And you're like, well, you can't go back and forth because then it creates dissent in locker rooms and the media gets involved and you make one pick or the other. Now you're saying it's okay to do just because they were trying to win that game at that particular time?
Different quarterbacks, different situations. Mitch Trubisky is on his way out. Tua is on his way in. 2 different situations. I got a guy exiting in Mitch Trubisky. I don't want to go back and forward with Nick Foles and Mitchell Trubisky. But if I got a young quarterback with a veteran guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick right there with him who is going to tutor him and teach him how to play the position at a pro level, I don't have a problem inserting him into the lineup with 2 minutes to go because he's showing you how to run a 2-minute drive in a hostile environment with a tough defense that has basically kicked your butt the entire game.
I just disagree with you on this one, man. I think that's a battle that you let Tua work out. And if you're going to commit to him, then commit to him. Like if you're saying, hey, we are handing you the keys, as long as you're not injured, like I just think that you've also told me, Key, that you think a lot of quarterbacks going back and forth, like even with what we were talking about Carson Wentz. I'm saying, hey, play Jalen Hurts. You're like, well, look, Jay, I'm trying to tell you, quarterbacks are sensitive, man. Like you've said this to me off camera multiple times.
They are sensitive, but you're
sensitive.
Dealing with a different kid here and a different type of personality. Going back and forth with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts is not ready to take over after I just paid somebody $100 and something million. I'm $40+ million on the books. I'm not even thinking about playing Jalen Hurts, no matter how bad the Carson Wentz situation goes.
The last thing I would mention
Agree
there.
to disagree, Zubin, on that one.
Gotcha. The last thing I would just mention there, the Dolphins are